Hi there, Serial Trader here. Let's check in with the major US indices. And this is after today's close, which is Monday. Alright, so we've had bullish follow through. And that's not surprising after closing so strongly near the highs of the day on Friday. And it looks like we're still in this smaller degree third wave. Certainly no signs that it's done, although on this hourly chart here, RSI is now overbought. And at this point, it wouldn't be surprising essentially any time now to have a fourth wave of some degree and then set up for another leg higher here. But that being said, clearly the path of least resistance is to the upside, and definitely confirmation of a third wave in progress. Well, certainly at this small degree of trend anyways. And you just draw this base channel, right? And there you have that visual confirmation of breaking out of the upper boundary line. So that's a nice visual third wave in progress. And well, that's probably the only update needed for this wave chart. I think it's very shortly here, possibly tomorrow even, we'll break above this level, which will confirm an even larger degree potential third wave is also in progress. Now we'll switch over to the candlestick chart. Alright, so this is SPX daily, and actually we had a nice gap up today and did not fill that gap. And we're well above the 3T line and the T line. I mean, we're just knocking on the door of breaking this former resistance level here, and then after that there's just going to be this resistance level and then really nothing until the all-time high. So this really does look bullish and appears to be destined for new highs. Not all in one day, of course, but it probably won't take that long. Now, this oscillator here is moving up nicely from the oversold condition, but not overbought yet. So certainly that's, just visually showing there's still room to run before even a short-term pullback would be expected. And I would suspect, as typically happens on gaps on these major indexes, whenever we do have this smaller degree fourth, whatever it is, for a pullback, that's a nice little target to close that gap. So keep an eye on that over the course of the week. And okay, we'll go with the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and the Dow had a very strong day, cleanly got above several these upper shadows from some of these prior resistance levels from last week. So that's been well cleared. And really the Dow actually showed more strength than the other two indices today. Perhaps it's starting to play catch up since it was more beaten up on the way down. And okay, that's probably good for the Dow. NASDAQ composite. NASDAQ also, well, let's see if the actual gap held here. So we had a high of 76.95.81 on this one, and a low of 77.0206. So there actually is a small gap here. You have to really try hard to find it, but it's there. So NASDAQ also gapped up, and well, you can see it's not very far away from new all-time highs, so that's coming pretty soon. And actually, if we just quickly stop back on the NASDAQ wave chart here, so remember, this could have been a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. Well, that's now completely invalidated, and we can embrace that. Yeah, we just had this ABC down, sharp pullback, simple, just a 3-wave decline, nothing fancy. And now we've had a 1, 2, and now we're in a 1, 2, 3, extended small degree third. It's still not done yet to the upside. And much like the S&P, whenever it is finished here short term, we'll have to have a little fourth, and a little fifth to complete the larger third, and then another fourth, and another fifth. On that point, we're up in all-time highs again for the NASDAQ at least. So that's kind of what to expect of the NASDAQ. Looks very strong, but again, also on this hourly chart, RSI is overbought. So really, any time here we could have this short-term pullback, which would be quite healthy at this point. But just to go back to Thinkorswim here. Okay, so the NASDAQ, and we've, well, I think we closed the gap last week there, so that's no longer a concern either. And this oscillator nowhere near overbought, so plenty of room to run, gauging off of that. And okay, the volatility index. So VIX continues just pulling right back, which is bullish for stocks. So anyone that did a little short volatility trade up here in this resistance area has done well for themselves. It's not typically something I do unless volatility gets extremely, unusually high. Then I feel pretty comfortable buying some VIX puts or, shorting a volatility ETF or something. But on these little moves, I don't like to get too short here because it could surprise you and go up. But when you get up here and you make historical, unusually high VIX levels, that's a pretty comfortable area to go short VIX. But yeah, not much going on here other than that. Just subdued condition for volatility, so that's quite bullish for equities. All right. As far as myself, other than just, again, playing with the futures intraday, which has continued to just be excellent, especially on this nice small degree third wave up. Before I make any kind of real big position, I want to see these two resistance levels get taken out, just so I know beyond a reasonable doubt, okay, we've absolutely broken out of this, choppy sideways kind of action, and we're actually going to trend up nicely to new highs. So I'd be more inclined to, well, on the futures, just have more contracts in play once we do that, or possibly look at some sort of options, long SPY call position or a spread or something of that nature. But still nothing there. Still just playing with the futures intraday, and that's continuing to do well. All right, we'll certainly check in as the week progresses here. Good to see things clear up, and now we can actually be more confident taking longs on individual stocks and things like that. All right, Serial Trader signing off.